Nathaniel Reed. Nathaniel, you've been following this bill since it was introduced. What exactly does it do?
Well, the Respect for Marriage Act does not require states to perform same-sex marriages. They're leaving that to the 2015 Obergefell Supreme Court precedent, which authorized same-sex marriage across the country. But what this bill does do, it repeals the 1996 Defense of Marriage Act signed by President Bill Clinton, which defined marriage as between a man and a woman. It also authorizes interracial marriage and requires states to recognize same-sex marriages if they were valid in the state in which they were performed, which basically means if same-sex marriage were to be overturned in this country, states would be required to recognize same-sex marriages if they were valid in the state in which they were performed. Let's say a certain state overturned same-sex marriage, but another kept it in place. All states would be required to recognize that marriage as valid. So that's what this bill does. Certain advocates didn't think this bill went far enough, but in order to win the bipartisan support necessary, proponents of the bill in the Senate and the House said this was the version that could pass, and ultimately they took the win that they were able to get.
Nate, we talked about the leadership of Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin in getting this passed. How did the other Wisconsin lawmakers vote on this bill in the House and the Senate?
Well, you're right. Tammy Baldwin was extremely important to getting this bill passed. She got her own shout-out, the first member of Congress to be shouted out, of course, besides from Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. But let's take a look at some of the other members of Wisconsin's delegation. If you take a look there, Mike Gallagher, the Republican representative from Green Bay, he voted for this bill. Also, you can see a bunch of the Democrats all voted for it. Every Democrat in Congress voted in favor of this bill. None of them voted against it. You can also see there that another couple Republicans, Brian Steele of Janesville, he also voted in favor of this bill as well, along with, of course, Mike Gallagher, rounding out the Republicans from the delegation. In terms of the U.S. Senate, Tammy Baldwin, of course, was one of the bill's co-sponsors. Senator Ron Johnson announced he would not support this bill, ultimately ended up voting against it. The argument from many Republicans who voted against this bill was it did not provide adequate protections for religious liberties, something proponents of this bill, even Republicans, said was in this bill and provided enough of those protections. In fact, the bill, in the way that it was written, eventually earned the support of the Mormon Church, which said that this is a bill they would like to see become law. Ultimately, earlier today, we saw this bill being signed, becoming law.
Nate, last 30 seconds or so, you just explained how Republicans are not able to get behind this, but how does this issue in the middle of an election year where so many Republicans were pushing culture war issues, how did this thing become bipartisan at the end of the day?
Well, this bill required bipartisan support. They needed to reach that 60 votes in the U.S. Senate. The House of Representatives, Democrats have a majority. They could pass this without Republican support. But over in the Senate, they need to win the support of Republican senators. Ultimately, Senator Chuck Schumer, the majority leader, made the decision to push the vote on this bill to after the election. This was originally going through Congress over the summer. He pushed it after the midterm elections, taking a big gamble that he would win more Republican support. Ultimately, 11 Republicans ended up supporting the final passage of this bill, sending it to President Biden's desk today. A number of those Republicans, including people like Rob Portman, the Republican from Ohio, who was the first Republican senator to come out, sitting Republican senator to come out in support of same-sex marriage. He did so back in 2013, before even the Obergefell decision came before the Supreme Court, because of the impact of his gay son. So certainly this is an issue we saw divide party lines. More Republicans voted for it, obviously, than Democrats, but this was a bipartisan win in many ways today. President Biden shouting out a number of the Republican senators who helped make today happen.
Nathaniel Reed in Washington, thanks so much for joining us to break this down this afternoon.
We have much